I think confidence and self-awareness kind of battle each other.
Right.
Because if you're overconfident, you don't have self-awareness. But if you're too self-aware, you might go into a room and be like, oh man, like I'm in the room with London or Metro and I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh bro, I can't play my beats out loud. Like, but when I walk in that bitch, I'm like, bro, I got slappers. Like, you know, I can hang, right? And
Facts.
and I've had to, like, I think before I got to that stage to have that confidence.
Yeah, how did you go from not being there to being there?
I had to make terrible music, play it for my friends, and have them tell me this shit is not good.
So basically you had to just fail over and over again until
100%.
you succeeded.
It's every loss is a new lesson.
Beautiful.
Had to drop that little gem, you know. I get the first clip in there.
Clip that.
Clip it, chat. But yeah, I mean, every loss has a lesson, and I think
so important.
Analyzing a loss is so much more important than analyzing a win. When I played football, I'm gonna go back and if I got strapped in a 1v1, I played receiver. If I got strapped by a DB, if I got strapped by a DB in a 1v1,
yeah,
and I'm gonna go back and watch that clip a lot more than if I run a fade and I win, I catch the ball. Because I know I did good right there. I can look at it and be like, okay, I know I did good, right?
Facts.
But if I get strapped, I gotta go find out why I got strapped. Like, did I not use my hands?
Right.
Did I not get off the ball quick enough? Did I not, move my hips enough to get the DB off
Figure
their
it
line,
out.
right? I gotta watch that loss way more than I watch a win.
Facts.
So that's like what I did. I made music and played it for my friends. It was a hobby.
Right.
And I started making music when I was in 7th grade, 13 years old, and I was making dog water.
Dog shit.
I mean, it was horrible. It was terrible. It just was not good. And I had to play it for my dad would come and be like,
AyoWhit, turn that shit down.
he'd be like, I don't know if this is for you.
Right.
Because my dad made music.
Did your dad want you to take a traditional path?
I think that neither of my parents ever fully came up to me and was like, you're going to go to college and you're going to get a job. That never was said to me.
Okay.
Now, granted, I devoted my life to football.
Right.
In that grind. I played sports, all sports growing up, but there was a certain point where I was like, I'm going to focus on football. My brother played football at Virginia Tech. I got to watch him go through high school, get offered by 20 colleges. Like, he was a beast, right? Like, so that was kind of like the...
Shout out, bro.
Yeah, shout out my bro, Joe. Yeah, Joe Kane.
Shout out my bro, Joe.
Yeah. So kind of got to watch that, and he kind of laid the groundwork for me.
For sure.
It's also encouraging
older
to see
brother?
that. Yeah, older brother,
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
2 years older than me. It's encouraging to see that, right? In a position that I was in. I was 2 years younger than him. I saw him go to camps, do the stuff he needed to do, get offers, right?
Yeah.
So
I'm sure that was crazy too.
Oh, it was insane. It was
looking up to him.
Yeah, it was
like,
an awesome
I want to
time,
follow in my bro's footsteps.
Oh yeah, and I was so thankful for him because I had that blueprint, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people don't get that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they set off on a path that
for sure. So you were,
committed to, and
definitely
he laid it out for me. Granted, we were different positions, but it's still
for sure.
It's the same.
Still the game.
Yeah. So devoting my life to football was like, all right, I'm going to go play football in college. That's how I'm going to get my college paid for.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, I was like, I kind of got into a mode where I was like, school just has to be something that I can get by in to do enough in so I can play football.
So football at this point in your life was like number one.
In high school,
you're banking on that. I'm
like,
going to the
getting
league. I'm doing what I got to do.
100%.
For sure.
Never in a day that I thought I wasn't going to play in the league.
Damn.
Now, this is where the being a realistic person comes in, right?
Yeah.
That may not be reasonable, right? Thinking that I'm going to the league, right? That's not reasonable.
Yeah.
But you can't be reasonable sometimes, right? Well, but it's realistic though.
For sure.
100% realistic that I can make it to the league, but it's a long road.
Guarantee.
Oh yeah, and the percentages are
what
crazy.
Kobe said? He said he was chasing perfection and excellence.
Yeah.
Knowing that he probably was never going to catch it.
Yeah.
But just by the fact that he was chasing that with no guarantee attached to it, he was going to beat or outplay all of his other teammates because nobody else was going to chase something that had no guarantee in it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's like when you're willing to risk it all and just fucking do what you got to do, knowing that, fuck, I might end up broke and alone and...
Yeah.
It's like,
you know what's ironic?
That's a real fucking grind.
Our passions are always set up like that. What you're passionate, there's never a guarantee that you're gonna make it in, bro. There's never. I mean,
that's the beauty of it, man. The fucking chase.
Exactly. Dude. And it's the chase.
It's
and
the
it
chase.
Really is. And I think on the grand scheme of things, the meta point in life is that if you're doing something you don't like, it's a disservice to
yourself and to the world,
to your life experience.
Holy shit!
It's such a disservice, and you know, once it turns into a monotonous lifestyle, it's like, yo, what am I doing? You can't, and sometimes you can't even identify it.
Sometimes you can't break out of it.
100%. And you just look at the generation before us, our parents. Like, I'll have conversations with them, and not that they don't agree that you should do something you're passionate about, but they've been doing the jobs that they're working. They like what they're doing, right? But if I went up to my dad, and I was like, you really want to do exactly what you're doing right now? There's no way he'd say yes.
Well, you got to think, though, times back then were very different. I mean, they didn't have access to the creative outlets that we do.
100%.
So they had no choice but to get the fuck up and go to work.
Right.
You know, we have a very, very privileged, like, allowance of creative things that we could do. So Absolutely. It's like, you know, that's also crazy. I mean, dude, girls are making millions of dollars off of posting pictures of themselves on OnlyFans now. Like, could you imagine back in the day, you know, just becoming a millionaire overnight by posting a couple photos of you?
Or even how society would respond to you.
Dude, oh my God. I would just... That's a whole nother...
No, it wouldn't be good.
That's a whole nother rabbit hole to go down.
Yeah, no. It's interesting.
It is. So talk to me about, okay, so obviously you have a really unique style of making beats. Like, when did you have that first thought where it's like, yo, I'm really that guy when it comes to this? Like, I can do something. Was it a moment where you just kind of stopped what you were doing and you were like, yo, I've got a chance at this shit?
I think that I definitely wouldn't be the only producer to say this.
Yeah.
As soon as I heard an artist get on one of my beats and it was digestible enough for an artist to get on it and feel like he has room to add his point of view to it, that's when I was like, all right, I'm really producing music. And I'm like my TikTok bio, I say I'm more than a beat maker.
Totally.
Because we have a lot of beat makers in the producer space, and that is 100% it's a hustle. It's a grind.
So what's the difference between a beat maker and a producer?
A producer is in sessions, writing lyrics, writing melodies, making beats from scratch.
Basically just painting the picture.
100%. Well, you're a part of painting the picture in real time.
Okay. Makes sense. But beat maker is somebody that's just behind a keyboard.
I mean, I would consider a beat maker somebody who's sitting down and cranking beats with no real like feeling about it.
Okay.
Because I think
there's no problem with that. You know, a lot of
not.
These beat makers are making hella bread on BeatStars right now.
Beat makers are making crank.
Okay,
like,
that makes perfect sense.
Yeah. So like,
there's a fine line between being a producer
and there's a difference, and you can be both.
Yeah.
1000% you can be both, but kind of how I learned,
for sure,
trying to balance football and music, I was trying to be great in both, but I was only good in both at the time when I was trying to balance that, and I learned that the hard way. And
okay, so going back to football, when did you know that football wasn't something that you were going to chase forever?
When I didn't know I was going to chase it?
When did you know that wasn't it for you?
Okay, so I'll kind of paint the picture for you. So Please. Coming out of high school, I had a crazy senior season. I played receiver. I had like 1,100 yards. I was number 3 in the nation.
That's big.
For kick return and punt return yards. Like crazy.
Good shit,
I had a really good season. My sophomore and junior season weren't as good, and that would attribute to me not getting as many looks as I thought I would get. Bro, I was running 4.4s at every camp I went to. This is not cap. You can go check this out.
This is not
cap.
Key,
I went to the opening combine.
Yeah.
Like to get to the actual opening.
So for people that aren't familiar with football.
Yeah, so the Nike opening.
Because I know nothing about the sport, bro.
Okay,
so
okay.
You're talking a whole nother language.
Yeah. So the opening is like where the top, I'm not sure the exact number, but the top like 100 probably kids.
Prospects.
High school prospects go to a camp, and it used to be in Oregon at the Nike headquarters. Okay. So top 100 kids, right?
Big time shit.
Yeah, so they held combines all over the country to find those 100 kids.
Wow.
Now, realistically, they already knew who the 100 kids were.
For sure.
This is a moneymaker. This is like you pay $40 to go to the camp, whatever. You get some cool film. You run some times.
Yeah.
Now, this is my first ever laser that I ran. And this was so a laser is like what they run at the combine, like the NFL combine. So it's like for sure time. So you got hand time. They're clocking you on like a timer, like a clock, like a...
clocking you like a 100-yard dash?
40-yard dash. Yeah, so 40-yard dash. So laser is like
See, I know some things.
Yeah. So laser is perfect timing. So you got laser at the beginning and laser at the end. So
and perfect timing is, what is that? Like 3.30 seconds?
You were screwing with me. I thought you like no.
Like what is perfect timing?
Being like when I cross this laser, the clock starts, and then when I finish at the end laser, the clock stops.
How many seconds is that?
Well, it's however fast you run.
Wait, what? Then what makes that a laser?
What?
What do you mean? I'm being dead ass.
No. It's the laser is like the equipment that they're using. So we're running. So
it's not a term for like.
No.
It's not like being
laser
a vet.
Is equipment. Yeah. So
it's not. Okay. All right.
So when you hear laser time, that's like the exact.
Forgive me, bro. I literally know nothing about football.
So all right. I'll give you some numbers. So okay. I ran a 40-yard dash in 4.4 seconds. Now that's really good. Like guys in the NFL and receivers are running like 4.3s. Like that's like what they're running. So in my senior year, I was running 4.4 hand time. Now what they say 4.4 hand time, it could be plus 0.1 or it could be minus 0.1. You're kind of like floating in that line, right? Because it's not perfect. We got human error basically. All right. Laser is like ChatGPT. So laser is like. It's like exact.
What type of language is this, dude?
Bro, I might need some help from one of y'all. Like, I don't know if I'm breaking it down good enough.
Is he breaking this down good enough? Because all I'm hearing is the pool stick was equivalent to the burger, and then
you start on your 40. When you start on that exact, it's like
clock starts.
Clock starts. So it's
so boom. Soon as your feet start to move, clock starts.
As soon as any body movement, clock starts.
So everybody's laser is different.
100%.
All right, say less. Keep going.
I'm way faster than you.
No, I got you.
I can confidently say I'm way faster than you.
Hell no. Hell no, dumb boy. I'm finna give it to you.
So you would probably run, my guess, you're athletic, you'd probably run like a 4.8, 4.9 laser.
Oh, hell no, bro. I'm definitely beating him.
That's moving out.
I'm beating you with.
That's moving out.
We're going to do a vlog.
All right. Anyway, let me get back to the picture I was painting for you.
All right, go ahead.
I was super fast, and I had a really good year. So I went to the opening. I went to the opening combine and I ran an extremely slow time, like a 4.72. I ran right after Jalen Hyatt ran, and people probably watching this probably know who Jalen Hyatt is. He just got drafted. He played at Tennessee. Yeah, crazy. So he was from South Carolina, and the combine was here. So we had South Carolina kids. Yeah, okay. We had South Carolina kids. Yeah, sorry, in Charlotte. We had South Carolina kids come and North Carolina kids come. So Jalen Hyatt ran right before me. Runs like a 4.4 probably, and I'm like, dang. And they're like looking at me like, who is this kid coming up after Jalen Hyatt? Because he was a highly touted prospect coming out.
And at this point in your life, you're football every day.
100%. And I had no offers, so I was unknown, right? I had a good, I had an okay junior season, so I got an invite. I ran a bad time. At that point on, I was like, bro, I have to get faster. So trained like crazy in that summer, and then when I went to college camps, I was running 4.4. So I was getting looked at like. Had a lot of schools like batting an eye because I was running fast. So senior year, had like 1,100 yards, had a crazy season. Had 2 offers coming out from VMI and Wofford, like full scholarship offers. My dad played at Wofford, so that was kind of like a family thing. Like he never pushed me to go there. They didn't quite have like an offense that I wanted to be a part of.
Right.
So I had 2 other opportunities at NC State. They offered me kind of to come walk on, and then if I did well, they were going to put me on money my second year.
NC State, that's big.
Yeah, NC State, yeah. And Charlotte offered me pretty much the same thing.
Okay.
So I wanted to be a part of something that was being built. I committed to Charlotte, got there, was doing really well. COVID hit. We go home for the summer. I come back. I kind of don't really skip a step. Like I'm back into it. Probably like I'm running with the 2s. I was like the second punt returner.
As soon as COVID is kind of done with.
Yeah, we got back to it.
All right.
So 3 weeks before our first game, we're in camp.
By the way, they had y'all wearing the masks on the field.
Bro, we were doing some crazy junk,
really,
bro. It was so not about football, which honestly affected this decision.
Fucking up the sport,
bro. It affected the decision because it really got so far away from football. It was only about COVID.
So I'm sure that's kind of what pushed you to being like, you know what, this might not be.
It was part of it because to see how controlled it was by like a higher power. It was it was like. Immediately, like we were doing some crazy stuff. But anyway,
shit, we should have just started our own league.
Okay, like XFL, USFL, we could have did.
Nah, for real. Like I could have been the CEO.
It could have been like the PWFL,
Parker and Whit.
That's really what it could.
We could have had the PWL. PWL sounds hard.
That would rock. It sounds like a soccer league kind of a little bit though.
Peanuts with lemon.
It could be like sour and salty and sour.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So back to
3
it.
weeks before the first game, I break my leg.
Okay.
I got hit with a helmet.
Ooh, breaking your leg?
It was bad.
Dude, I couldn't imagine
It was
breaking my
unbelievable.
leg, dog.
I got hit with a helmet and then I got up and was dead-legged. Like, I don't know if you've ever been dead-legged, but like...
How did your shit look when you broke it? Was it
So
like,
I'll tell you,
was the bone snapped completely?
Yeah, it was not a good scene. But hit my leg, helmet hit my leg. I get up, I'm dead-legged. I'm like, dang. So I took the rest of the practice off. We're like laughing about my trauma. This is good. I think it's good. Like, it's kind of like therapeutic a little bit. But I go get an x-ray. They don't see anything. They're like, it's just a deep bone bruise. So I take a week off. I come back. I'm practicing. I'm feeling good. And I go up and I line up to run a route, or we call ROA.
As soon as you get back.
Routes on air. Yeah, as soon as I got back a week after hitting my leg on the helmet.
Cool.
I take off, leg snaps. I look down.
Just by yourself?
Yeah, I was like, not even get hit. I just took off. So I looked down.
You was running that fast. Your bone just damn.
I didn't even get running yet. I just took off. Like, I literally pushed off the ground and it snapped. I thought a rock had hit me in the back of my leg.
What do you think was the problem?
So
you're just weak.
Well, the bone was weak at the time.
That sucks, man.
No,
I truly feel bad for you.
So it snaps. I thought a rock hit me in the leg. It really didn't hurt that bad. It was kind of weird. It felt like somebody went like this. So that didn't hurt, did it? But it felt like a flip.
Did.
Oh, did it? Well,
yeah.
it was kind of on your knee.
Bro.
I'm sorry. But I was like, dang. I looked down. My ankle was hanging off my...
Chill.
Yeah, like you couldn't see the bone or anything, but my ankle just had no support because your fibula is connected to your ankle ligament and your bone and stuff. So it was just hanging off. And when I saw that, the pain, like 100
in
times,
immediately.
it was crazy. It was like, yeah, bro, I was... Well, at first I was like, I'm done for like a year. Because I thought I tib-fibbed, which is like what Conor McGregor did.
Facts.
Completely.
Oh, yeah. No, his
snapped
shit was...
his tibia and his fibula. So...
Thank God you didn't.
Yeah, so I go and do my x-ray, and they're like, yeah, you actually had a stress fracture instead of a bone bruise. So I got back after a week when I should have took 3 weeks off, which is super unfortunate looking back on it. So I take my 4 months, I get back, I come back in the winter, I'm having a good winter, and then we start spring practice. I pull my hamstring a little bit, took a week off. I come back, and we're doing one-on-ones, and I run a slant, and I plant, and a DB was holding my jersey, so I couldn't go anywhere when I planted.
Right. And
my knee kind of popped.
Oof.
And I was like, dang, that was kind of weird. No pain. I went to my trainer. I was like, hey, my knee's like really loose. I was able to turn my kneecap, like almost like.
What do you mean by turn your kneecap?
Like I could grab my kneecap and like turn it like this, and it would twist. So I was like, something feels like unstable or whatever. She's like, okay, just take it easy the rest of practice. So I'm like, I'm still running because it didn't hurt.
Yeah.
So I go out and I run I'm supposed to be blocking on this play, so I run like a go, and then I flip my hip, so I turn back inside to block the guy I was turning, and when I turned and I planted,
your shit just
knee snapped.
Okay,
so
all right.
At that point,
you're like,
I'm like, dude.
So fast forward from that moment to whenever you actually like had the producing kind of itch.
Yeah. So while I'm playing football, I'm in the studio till 2 a.m. Like
already. So you was already producing at this point.
Yeah, 100. Yeah.
Okay,
I've been producing for 6 years.
So
yeah.
All right, cool.
So
music was already a part of you.
Yeah, 100%.
Cool.
So that's really when COVID is really when music popped off.
Dope.
My first songs with Kevin.
I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that too. Like if you started making music in COVID and you're listening.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
so
I'm
that's
sure a lot
when
of producers.
My first songs with Kevin came out, and we released.
And they went crazy.
And it went stupid. Millions of plays. Looking back on it now, like we're probably, me and him probably done.
What was it like? What was
plays.
It like with working with Kevin early on and just these records going stupid? Like, how did it all happen?
Yeah, I'm gonna get to that. I'm gonna finish because we went on a tangent. I was trying to finish it. I was taking a little bit too long.
Ahead.
But so do the ACL, meniscus, do my surgery. I go home and I'm like, I really am posed with the question like, what do I want to do? Because I was pouring mentally, physically, everything.
And this was
into
a mental
football.
Thing, like
100%.
What do I want to do?
Yeah, I kind of had like a really like come to Jesus moment, like for real, like prayed about it, and I'm like, I need to make a decision because music was doing really well. I was missing opportunities for music because of football.
Right.
I wasn't able to travel because I had to be at practice and stuff like that. So when I had that injury and I had surgery, I went home. My family lived in Virginia at the time, so I went back to Virginia and I was like rehabbing and stuff. and I was like, I need to find out if Charlotte's gonna give me money to play.
Right.
Because if they did that, I would have stayed in school 100%.
Do they even pay their players?
Oh yeah, we like scholarships. Like,
okay,
you can be on full scholarship. FBS, you're either on full scholarship or you're not on scholarship at all. So I was like, I need to find that out, because if I'm not going to get money, I'm not. I'm
yeah,
done. I'm gonna
absolutely
do
not.
So I went to Charlotte. I had a conversation with my head coach, Coach Healy at the time. And I'm not like afraid to say his name, because my full respect.
Yeah, I mean, full respect to those guys. And they gave you a great opportunity to play.
Absolutely. But I go and have a meeting with him one-on-one. We're outside the football facility, and we had a straightforward conversation. Honestly, one of the most man-to-man conversations I've had up to that point.
Wow.
Because I was 18 years old at the time. So I was like, Coach, like, is there any possibility you guys are putting me on scholarship? And he's like, you know what, right now with the injury, you can't really help us. This is not verbatim, but you know.
Yeah, but it's like, this isn't personal. We love you, but
right, 100%. And they valued me, but you know, at that time they couldn't put me on scholarship. And I said, you know, Coach, I really appreciate that. I went home and I was like, I told my parents, I was like, I want to drop out
for sure. So that was it. After that, it was like, only reason I'm in school is because of football, and if 100%. I can't play football, I'm not going to stay here any longer.
I didn't see it. Wow. I didn't see a point, because I knew exactly what I wanted to do with my life.
So at that point, you're like, I'm going to be a producer.
I was like, this is what I'm going to do full time.
This is what I'm going to do.
I'm gonna make music full time, and no one was going to be able to tell me, you know, otherwise. Because I think it's a once in a lifetime thing. Not a lot of people get the opportunity to do exactly what they want, and I was realistic. I was not reasonable. For sure. Doing music full time is not a reasonable thing, but it's realistic, right? So at that point, I was like, I'm gonna be realistic. I can do this, and I'm gonna do it. So here we are.
Good shit, dude.
2 years later since that moment, and it's.
Yeah, I think it's
paid back tenfold.
One of the most beautiful things you can do as a human being is chase your passion.
Yeah.
Don't let anybody tell you what you should be doing. Do what you want to do.
Yeah.
Like, my brother Kamari was talking to us on a pod, and he was saying, pick one thing that you would do every single day and not get paid for. And whatever that is, that's what you should be focusing on. The money will come down the line, guaranteed. Yeah. If you put your all into it, it's going to fucking happen. So props to you, bro. Seriously, because that takes a lot, man.
Yeah.
It's a big risk.
Yeah, it is. And, you know, my parents are like fully supportive of it, right? But they were realistic with me, right?
For sure.
They're like, look, like, you got to figure it out. Like,
did you break it down to them? Like, trust me, there's potential.
Well, it helped because I had a little bit of numbers to show them.
For sure. And were you making money at the time?
I was, but I can't confidently say that I was making enough to handle everything that I'm handling now.
Okay, for sure.
But I was able to be like, hey guys, this is my trajectory. This is how much money I made last year. This is how much money I made this year. And they were able to be like, look at it and be like, okay. So
and what's the cash flow? I mean, how do you get paid for music?
Yeah, bro. I mean, I think the music is to fully take full advantage of all the ways to get paid in music.
For sure.
It's a test, and you gotta really do research, because most people don't even know that their songs are banking money somewhere in an account that all you gotta do is go sign up for it, and it's there. It's black, and if you don't go sign up in a certain amount of time, they'll just black box it.
What, BMI?
Do BMI, Song Trust, like there's so many publishing avenues, bro. Like,
dude, I'm sure kids are just artists are struggling right now, man. They probably got a artists that are making
$5,000 from DistroKid every 2 months, right? DistroKid pays every about 2 months. If you're making $5,000 from DistroKid, your publishing checks are making that, probably more.
Times two?
Yeah, I mean, because you get paid. BMI and ASCAP, they pay like in different, like a quarterly
increments.
Yeah, some I think one of them pays 6 months, one of them pays quarterly.
Okay.
So I mean, your quarterly checks are probably going to be about $8,000 to $10,000.
Yeah.
If you're making $5,000 from streaming, because if you're making $5,000 from streaming, you're streaming a lot. I mean, you're doing millions of streams.
Yeah.
So
damn.
Yeah, I mean,
So right now, if you don't mind me asking, are you in a place financially where you're getting paid from 100%. The music and you're able to sustain a healthy lifestyle for yourself?
Yeah, and music has led me to other ventures.
Dude, I'm so proud of you, bro. On some real shit, like brother to brother. I'm so proud of you.
I appreciate it.
Because I really do want to see you become one of the, well, you already are, but I want to see you get to where we both know you're going to go, which is like A-list producer working with everybody all around the world. I could see it, dude.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to do. I agree.
You're going
I'm going to do it, yeah.
So
it's going to happen.
All right, so let's fast forward a little bit. When you get to that level, what's probably your dream artist that you could work with? Tough question, but
It's a very tough question to pinpoint one.
let's make it a better question. Who is one artist that you want to work with in the future?
Oh, man.
Somebody who's out of reach right now, but, you know, will be accessible.
I'm going to give you... Because I'm trying to, like, my genres, bro, I just bounce around
Future.
so much in genres. Yeah. I mean, of course, like, that's like...
Got to.
It's a given
Got to
for
work
sure.
with the GOATs.
Yeah, I mean, like, Future, Drake, like, to be able to get, you know, in the room and to be able to just sonically them hear what I got going on would just be
enough.
a thing in itself, for sure.
But it's not like having a record with them.
Yeah, no, for sure, yeah. And even having, like, a cut record, like, not even getting released.
Dude, Drake on an AyoWhit.
Yeah, just that. Yeah,
That's crazy.
That would be insane. Dang, bro. I'm trying to think, man.
Come on, Whit.
I mean, bro, honestly, like, how I carry myself as a producer, artist, the clothing, and like the company that I'm in the works in right now, like, Kanye was such a crazy inspiration.
Kanye's huge.
Even growing up. I mean, like, Kanye was the first hip-hop artist that I ever listened to.
So that's your pick.
I mean, I'd probably have to say that. It would just be, I think
you got to, bro. You can't go wrong with Ye.
Yeah, I mean...
Ye's crazy.
That's... To produce with him or to even have a track with, it's just like, that'd be one that...
incredible.
Yeah.
One for the books.
I think I don't think I could go wrong with saying, like, that's like...
Yeah, no, that's
just a pinpoint.
That's totally a valid answer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Everything straight? Yeah, you said you got it. All right, cool. Fuck yeah. So, one thing that I'm curious about is...
Yo, I thought Gang was ripping.
No, I thought Gang was ripping too.
Yeah, I was like, on the podcast.
That boy farted.
Yeah, it's a small-ass room.
Now, one thing that I was truly curious about, like, I'm sure a lot of artists reach out to you trying to work. What's a major red flag that you look for when it comes to working with artists?
I think an artist approaching you and not valuing your time or your artistry, like, as a producer. Like, realistically, how many artists could you think of off the top of your head that you've seen videos of or that you know of that go into a studio with no beat and no producer and they get in and they record a song?
None.
Okay. So, like, that's kind of how I approach producing. It's like, we are starting the song. I mean, we're writing the song initially. None of those, if you got on my beat, there's no way you could confidently tell me you would have wrote that song without my beat.
100%.
So, I think an artist coming and not valuing your time, you know, that could be monetary or even just, like, respect-wise, like, coming to you and being like, I had a guy hit me the other day, and first thing he's like, hey, man, like, I'd love to work with you. Let me know what your rates are and, like, how you do that. And, like, off the bat. And I think it's very important to flatten out and iron out the business side. I think that's super important before you get started, because if you just
business
start
first. Unless it's an organic thing where you're
different, right? Yeah,
if
you're
totally circumstantial.
If you're DMing someone, like an artist DMing a producer that might be bigger than them, it's got to be business first.
Totally.
Because if you approach them,
there's no incentive to help each other.
Yeah, and like, I hate for it to be like that, but at the end of the day,
hey,
this
business is business, bro. You got to do what you got to do to put food on the table.
It's my living. So I think that would be a big thing for me.
What's probably the biggest green flag?
That, and then also then coming to you and actually complimenting your sound in a way that it's not just like, hey, I want to make beats like you make beats for Kevin, you know?
Oh, dude, I'm sure that sucks.
It's not ill intent, and I get it, but it's like,
it's kind of just
much
like
more like what I'm doing with Kevin. Not to mention I've worked with a lot of other artists, but like, you know, I could say that a lot of people have found me from what I've done with Kevin.
For sure.
So I get it. Sometimes they're like, hey, can you make a beat like you made Company? And like, with me in the creative space, and a lot of people don't understand that as a producer, it's like, I never want to make the same beat ever again.
And but even at that, bro, it's like, if somebody's approaching you on that type of communication level, it sounds to me like they're not really too advanced as an artist, because it's like, yo, can you make me a beat like how you made that? Like, no. Can you make me a down tempo beat? Like, what type of synths do you work with? Like, you know, they gotta speak that lingo, really.
No, for sure. And I'm
they
also
gotta talk that language
in situations where people want me to make a beat like another song I didn't produce. Now, I think that's a little bit different. I think that's better, because if you come to me and be like, hey, I like this song LA Confidential by Tory Lanez. I really like the song. I really like the vibe of it. I'd like for you to produce something that sounds kind of like that.
Do you like
beat.
doing that?
I love doing that.
For sure.
Because you're giving me, you know, especially if we ironed out business first and we come to an agreement and you're valuing my time. Because a lot of those times when I'm doing a custom beat like that, you're there in Discord with me, or
For sure.
you're there on like a Zoom call.
But they're giving you the creative freedom to.
Correct. They're allowing me to steer the car a little bit.
It's like, yo, I'm AyoWhit, and I've become this producer because of my abilities.
Yeah.
To create beautiful sounds. So just trust that.
Yeah, and also I think when it comes to that too, like having respect. And I'm not like a big dude that's like got this huge ego, and like because. If you have an ego in the producer world, you're going to miss out on so many opportunities. Like we were talking about earlier, like you got to be able to walk into a room, and even though you know you're good, and if you're in a room with somebody that
you got to be humble, dude.
You got to.
Can't have a big ego. Ego is.
You can be confident and not have an ego.
Dude, my ego has fucked me up so much in life, and now you know it's just beautiful to like actually understand how horrible ego really is.
Yeah.
Because there's a difference between knowing your value and having a big fucking ego.
Absolutely.
So
yeah,
it's definitely important.
The distinction between that, like you were saying, can cost you so much,
everything.
Bro.
Everything.
Yeah, like, and even when it comes to the business side and music, I take cuts on advances all the time. Like when I do deals with people, like I have a rate that I do, but I also have self-awareness of an artist that might be independent that can't afford that rate. I have rates for people like that.
For sure.
I've set myself up financially where I have other ventures that can take care of me.
What happens when you come across talent who, let's say, is broke as fuck, but is just the most amazing?
I'll buy in 1,000%.
Okay, so you're like, let's fucking work.
Oh, absolutely. Dude, if I believe in you, bro, unless you're offering to,
unless
you're like telling me they can't stomach not like paying me for the beat.
Right.
Like, I'm not gonna do it for free. Like there's gonna be a percentage. There'll be a percentage split, but I'm buying in 1,000%. Like,
and that goes back to you're truly passionate about making good music.
Absolutely, yeah. And
that's the biggest.
Yeah, and if your music makes me feel a certain way, like, and you're willing to work with me, because I feel like that's a big thing too. Like if somebody that I really like and I like their music wants to work with me, that's
huge.
The encouragement, even if you're not big, even if you're not even as big as me, like I'm still like, bro,
that's how I felt when Deuce wanted to hop on my record.
Yeah,
because Deucey was the first kind of poppin' artist to show interest in me.
Yeah,
and that made me feel incredible. I'm like, yo, this is huge.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So I can only imagine how that would make you feel.
Definitely.
You know,
right.
Bro, fuck. Imagine Drake hitting you up, like.
Nah, bro, that would be.
Imagine Drake tapping in, like, dude, your sounds are amazing. Let's cook up a record.
And I think a cool thing happened the other day, like Benny X, he produced Search and Rescue for Drake.
A lot of Yeet stuff too.
Yeah, and Yeet stuff too. So
Benny X is hard.
Drake was on Yeet super early too as well. Yeah. So Benny X he said this, I think on Twitter, came out and said it, and he was like, dude, I used to use Drake acapellas to see if my beats were fire. And then for him to actually get on a beat like that, like the full circle moment of that is probably is incredible. And I've definitely had like
do you do
situations
that sometimes?
Like that. Oh yeah, all the time, bro.
You'll flip vocals.
That's a producer hack, bro. Go out on Reddit.
Where do you
TikTok,
find the vocals though?
You gotta dig, bro. Reddit and TikTok. There's so many folders out there.
Dude, I've always wondered that.
Yeah, they're out there, and bro, the AI we have now. Oh, I could split a vocal and make it sound so clean.
Crazy.
Oh yeah, you just gotta go out and do some research.
What do you feel? How do you feel about this AI wave when it comes to artists?
I think it's extremely dangerous on the creative side, because music is all about feeling, and Dr. Dre talks about that a lot. Like music is all about how, like the emotions it makes you feel.
True feeling.
Like, even like the physical feel of shit. Like when you hear 808, are you feeling 808? It's like, ooh, it kind of like gets down in your chest a little bit, and music is it's in the spiritual realm. It's not physical. It's not mental. It's sound waves, right?
Dude, the vibrations is what make
spiritual.
You feel.
I mean, there's no like when you're at a football game or you're at a big sporting game and the crowd goes crazy and you get chills. There's not a lot of things that give you chills, right? That's a feeling. Music is probably one of the biggest things that like I'll get chills if I hear something. If I hear like a note hit or if I hear a beat come in, I'm like, whoa. That's when you know something's like in the spiritual realm.
You know what's crazy? Certain frequencies. I saw a video of somebody putting salt on like a pan or whatever, and then putting a frequency below it, and it makes a geometrical shape.
Bro, oh my!
And it does the same thing with water too.
There's the word for that. There's a big company.
Cole, can you look that up really quick? Can you look up what the term is for sound frequencies creating geometrical shapes?
I can't believe I'm blanking. There's a sample company that their name is that.
Dude, it's incredible. If you think about it, we're like 90% water.
Yeah.
So when a frequency like an 808 hits us, that's making...
What are you saying?
Look up online.
No, it's like
sound frequencies creating geometrical patterns.
Like with salt. There's like a guy that he did like a... Bro, I know the word.
Dude, this is a crazy topic because that's a mind-blowing concept. Theory.
I can't believe I'm blanking on it, bro.
What is it?
I don't know. Cymatics. So Cymatics is a big sample company.
It's insane.
And I never knew what that word meant, and then I saw that video and I was like, it's called Cymatics.
Isn't that insane?
What's the definition? Sorry, I remember he said that.
Is a subset of model vibrational phenomena. The term was coined by the Swiss.
Holy words. These are big words.
Typically, the surface of a plate diagram and membrane is vibrated, and regions of maximum and minimum displacement are made visible in a thin coating of particles, paste, or liquid.
Okay, all I know about this is on some real shit.
Did they hear any of that? You think?
Probably maybe just a little bit.
Yeah.
On some real shit though, the fact that it makes perfect geometrical patterns, dog, it has to mean something.
It's not. There's no coincidence
There's
in life.
No coincidences.
I don't believe in any coincidence.
Absolutely not. God is real.
Absolutely.
100%. Love you, brother.
Love you too, bro.
I'm glad you came on today, man.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me.
Because I wasn't expecting to do a pod this weekend, but when did you call me or text me?
I think I texted you telling you I was coming to Charlotte.
You were like, yo, let's run a pod.
Yeah. I was like, after watching y'all's episodes, I was like, I want to get on.
At that point, I was like, let's fucking do it.
Yeah.
I wish you could have been on with all the homies, but it's just it's so many people, man.
Yeah.
We don't have all the equipment that we need, but soon we're going to come back full circle and fucking...
We'll get a little anniversary.
It's going to be crazy.
Episode. Yeah, definitely.
Next one we do is going to 1 million views easily.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
100%.
It's going to happen.
This one's going to hit
absolutely
at least 10K.
The amount of gems we just dropped.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And we're going to continue to drop.
Yeah.
So, what's next? What's up with the clothing?
What's next?
Because that shit looks fire, bro.
Yeah, I think my vision for Hitfield is what it's called. My company, kind of like my umbrella. I like to call it. I want to house everything.
First off, that's a hard ass name, dude.
Yeah.
Hitfield.
I woke up at 3 a.m. I've been thinking about what I wanted to call it.
Yeah.
I'd flirted with so many different names, bro, and everything just sounded kind of like forced. Woke up at 3 a.m. and I was like, Hitfield. My middle name's Whitfield, so I just dropped the W. I was like, bro.
So your last name's not even Whit?
No, my first name is Timothy. My middle name is Whitfield. And my last name's Kane. I just gave my entire government out there, but I'm sure it's fine. It's out there.
I need a scammer to find his SSN ASAP.
Chill. No, I got everything protected.
That boy got Experian Plus.
Yeah, we pay him extra.
Nah, real shit. And I like how Hitfield goes hand in hand with the music and the football field. Was that kind of like
the whole vision, bro. Okay. It's the whole vision. Yeah. It's just tying in like...
Hitfield is hard, bro.
Bro, I was like, it's literally my name the whole time. I've been thinking about it for 2 months and I'm like, bro, it's literally my name
everything,
the whole time.
Dude, every idea that comes out of you, it's already been here the whole time.
It's there. We're the vessel.
That's
You gotta bring it into...
That's it.
Bring it into
but that comes back to like there is no coincidence. Like everything happens for a reason. God already intended for you to create a brand called Hitfield.
Absolutely.
In 2023, and it's gonna go up. Where can I cop a hoodie at?
They're coming. I think my vision for what Hitfield is much bigger than just clothing.
Yeah.
I think clothing is like a subset of the vision. I think it could be something for people to rock and support. But right now, I'm structuring it as a multimedia company. So I want to house music there. I want it to be, a YouTube. I want it to be.
You want to sign artists?
I think down the road for sure.
I feel like you definitely should.
Right now, I'm kind of recruiting producers right now.
Yeah.
I got one guy that he lives in Argentina.
No way.
Yeah. Found him.
But he's
randomly.
tough.
Yeah, he's been following me for a while, and I did like a little contest.
What's his name?
I have him saved to my phone as Batista, but when he sends me music, it's like it says Curly. Who is Curly?
That's hard.
Yeah.
So that's the @ Who is Curly?
That's not even his @ His @ is Batista, and I forgot his last name. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Maybe that's a word in the language, Spanish.
It might be, but I'm not sure. I have him saved as Batista, but he's crazy. And I held like a little competition for producers. I was like, I want a young guy that has no motion to their name right now, nothing. And I want you to I'm going to send you guys samples, and I want you to flip them, and whoever does the best work.
And he went stupid.
He went nuts. Federal. And he had actually sent me stuff.
That boy went federal.
Yeah, he actually sent me stuff like prior, so I already knew that he was pretty hard. And then I heard his drums, because I was looking for somebody that could kind of match how I do drums.
Right.
I wanted somebody that
you
could
want
sonically,
Hitfield to be kind of sonically like the same type of music.
Absolutely. Whatever genre we do, country, pop, whatever, hip hop, whatever we do.
But you're bringing that feeling every time.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it brings the same
That's
feeling.
dope, bro.
Yeah. But yeah, Hitfield, and then when's this podcast dropping?
This pod is probably going to drop. This is 5? Oh, yeah, this is 5. Yeah.
Could you guys drop this?
We can hold off.
Yeah.
We'll talk. We'll figure it out after.
Yeah,
after we're
that's
done.
fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got some.
You got something planned?
Yeah, some
You
big things
cooking some
coming.
shit up?
Yeah, for sure.
All right, bet.
Yeah, and it's like super soon, like within the next couple of days. So
For sure.
yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I want to.
Is this going to be the whole scheme, though? Is it going to be like the varsity jackets with
100%? Yeah, the whole.
Yeah, tough.
This is actually my high school letter.
I need a Letterman, bro.
Yeah, it's not the exact H that I use for the actual logo, but it's a cool alternate, and it's kind of a cool story too. So I made a crest. I have my graphic designer that I work with for the whole branding of the company. We made like a custom crest,
Like a cross.
It
I
could.
don't know.
No, it could. There's a lot of universities have crests, and they're
Word.
like old timey logos that were made a long
So you're
time
going
ago.
to do
like
T-shirts, hoodies, Lettermans.
yeah, so like this on the back of this, I'm gonna put the crest.
Hard.
Of the
You got to give
company.
the official Lettermans to everybody on team.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Like, don't sell those.
No, I've got crazy things.
Yeah,
planned.
it's got to be
We're running
one-on-one.
with this like rugged kind of varsity look.
Dope.
I'm actually like
Is that sewed on, or is it kind of
yeah,
like
it's
just
sewed on.
hard?
Yeah, and we left like the edges because I wanted when I washed it, I wanted
Let me
to
see
get
what's
kind
the
of rugged.
Instagram.
Hitfield
I'll drop
Co.
a follow right now.
Yeah.
Dang.
HITFIELDCO. For some reason somebody's got Hitfield already.
Hitfield Co. Bro, it looks so tough.
Yeah, I appreciate
Who
it.
did this?
My boy Jack, bro. I found him on TikTok. He did a rebrand for Skechers.
So tough.
Video had like 10 likes, and I found him. I was like, bro, this dude is hard. So I hit him up. I kind of been like, I feel bad. Like I've been like leading him on for the last couple months, but I've been struggling with figuring out what the name was. But I was like, hey, bro, I got an idea that I'm cooking up. I'm gonna come to you whenever I got it, fully fledged. Because I gave him probably the craziest rundown creatively that any graphic designer ever. I gave him exactly what I wanted, and he hit it on the nose. I think that's super important. You got to do that with graphic people because.
But it's the same way you were talking about how because of your ability to write songs, you were able to help your girlfriend articulate.
Yeah.
It's like,
Or hits call home.
bro,
yeah.
that shit is OD.
So at first I had the play "Home is where the heart is." I was doing "Home is
Good shit, dude.
Home is where the hits are made" or something
Fuck
like that.
with
But
that. Yeah.
I like where hits call
It's
home.
tough.
It's like, and like you think about a hit, like something that impacts you, the feeling, right? It's all about. I built it around the feeling, and on football, we hit, and my first like idea for like the clothing was I was gonna do the logo, and on the back I was gonna have a kind of like a sketch artwork of like iconic hits.
Yeah.
So I had when Muhammad Ali knocked that one dude out in that overhead picture of the dude laying flat on the canvas.
Oh, yeah.
Muhammad's like
Muhammad's
walking
just
back.
kind of like.
Yeah, and then I had like a cool artwork of like Mike Tyson like punching somebody. So it's gonna be all about like hits, right? And kind of tying
Like physical hits.
Yeah. Tying my passion for sports into music and
Dude,
bringing it
it's
all
beautiful.
together. And I think it's perfect for like the whole aesthetic of the brand. It's very sporty.
No, it's perfect
but it's
for
also
you,
like you
dude.
can. Like, I'm going out after this and I'm wearing this. Like,
Yeah,
it
absolutely.
can pass as being something that's
For
kind of
sure.
like high end. But
You know what I love about it, though? Like, it's you. It's who
Yeah.
you are. Just because you don't play football anymore doesn't mean you have to say goodbye to it.
yeah,
So I love that, dude. Seriously.
I appreciate it. Yeah.
What was it like? You're still sourcing out T-shirts and shit, though? Or that's going
Well,
to be
I
a
did, like,
whole
little-
different ballpark?
Yeah, it's coming. I want it to be good when I do it.
For
You
sure.
know, I'm gonna do. Right now, I'm kind of in the process of making one of ones.
Dude, so
and
hard.
then I'm gonna be sending it out.
I
to
got to
my-
be one of the first.
to my boys. Oh yeah.
Please.
You'll get it for sure, definitely.
100%.
But I'm making one of ones. I'm doing like each piece will be completely different. And I'm kind of doing like a trial run, like which piece is gonna hit the hardest, and then
Yeah.
I'll up the manufacturing of whatever that one is.
What's really going to be a full circle moment is when Nough Said Podcast becomes the biggest podcast in the world, which we already are the biggest podcast in the world. We're just not there yet.
100%?
But once we get there, we'll do a Hitfield Nough Said collab.
That would be
Drop
sick.
a little merch line.
Yeah,
That'd be crazy.
that would be fire.
We got
I can already see the aesthetic of it.
Hell yeah.
That'd be sick.
So what advice do you have for a young producer trying to find his flow and just get into his bag right now?
I would say listen to every single genre of music, even music you don't like. It's more important to listen to the music you don't like to see what you aren't supposed to do.
That's huge.
Dr. Dre said that in an interview. He was like, he listens to music that he doesn't think is good and he doesn't think could be Billboard or could be like a top song, because he studies it to see what not to do and what not to put in his music, the frequencies, the sound selection. Like,
Facts.
You have to listen to music to really gain self-awareness, like we talked about. You got to listen to it to see what people are doing, and that's kind of how I would describe my sound. Is I don't like this is it's cliche. A lot of producers say this. I don't really have like a legit sound. I have a feeling. So when you hear a beat, I want you to be like, that's definitely an AyoWhit beat because of how it makes you feel, not because of how it sounds.
For sure.
Yeah.
And how do you become distinguishable with that sound to create that unique feeling? Because I'm sure so many other like producers are using the same kits as you, or maybe not. I mean, do you have your own kit?
No, I'm using every Reddit free drum kit that everybody else is going on Reddit and getting. Like, it's, I manipulate some things. I have a certain sauce for some stuff that I put on, and like, not that I gatekeep it. It's like, it's out there.
What makes your beats so easily distinguishable though?
I mean, there's definitely some technical things that I do that I think could cause me to be distinguishable.
For sure.
But, bro, this sounds like it can't be real, but it's like,
say it.
The way that I approach music and the passion that I pour into it, I think it really is felt. And of course, like,
that's beautiful.
If I brought somebody in from another country and was like, listen to this song, they wouldn't be like, oh, that's an AyoWhit beat. But I think if you know who I am and you know that there's an artist that just put a song out and you know that I've worked with them before, if you go listen to it, you could be like, this is an AyoWhit beat.
Totally.
Within the first 20 seconds.
Even without the tag.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Even if my tag's not on
100%.
there. My tag's not on everything that I produce. Like, it's on some things.
When do you know it's right to put the tag on it?
I'll be honest.
Because like, I'm sure London on the track or Metro, they got to put their tag on it.
Yeah. I mean, the songs that my tag isn't on there, I wouldn't say was my choice. And sometimes it gets stripped off when you send stems and stuff like that. Things happen. I'm not like really too caught up on it.
That sucks though.
Yeah, I'm not really too caught up on it. I mean, like, as long as they're properly.
Where's my tag at?
I know, because not like I have a bad tag. Some people got like.
No, dude, your tag's hard.
Yeah, it's quick to the point, says who I am, and it's kind of like a little signature.
Kevin did that, yeah.
Kevin did that when we were like 16.
That's crazy.
17. Yeah, he was like I was just recording him randomly one night, and the song that we were doing was probably like a fuck around song anyway, and he was just like. We were like, it was like a intro. He's just like, AyoWhit, Ayo. He's just saying it a bunch, and I cut it, and I didn't tell him, and I just like kept it. One. I was like, oh, bro, this can be it. Ooh. And I wasn't even going by AyoWhit by the time. I was just going by Whit Kane, my actual name.
For sure.
And then I was like, at some point it clicked. I was like, I need to go by AyoWhit.
It's beautiful how that came together.
Yeah, because it still has my name in it.
Bro, the most beautiful things in life happen by accident. 1,000%. But it's not an accident.
Yeah.
Or a coincidence. No. It's just how it was meant.
No such thing.
It's fate.
I'll touch up on one thing.
Go ahead.
That I've been kind of wanting to say. And music for me, and people can kind of tie this into my whole origin story with football. Music was a buried passion. So what I mean by that was I was passionate about music and football, but publicly I was passionate about football, but privately I was passionate about music.
Wow. Because
I didn't want people to... I wanted people to know me for football. Just because the situation I was in, it made more sense.
You weren't embarrassed about music, though, were you?
It was a little bit of embarrassment because, first of all, I don't think I was very good at the time. I wasn't really making motion publicly, and now that I know that, I look back at it now, it's like, it's not about that. Yeah. But unfortunately, at the time, that's how I felt about it.
Were you hanging out with like a lot of, and I don't know if this is the right term, but maybe jocks or?
I mean, I wouldn't say jocks. They were just like boys that, I play with, but I still hung out with like,
music homies
like Kevin. Like Kevin didn't play football, and that was like my best friend in high school. Yeah. So we were still making music, but it just wasn't something that it was a buried passion. I think that's a good word for it. It was like something that I wasn't ready to come out and be like, yo, this is what I do, right? Because football had that place, right?
Yeah,
and music was on the cusp of it. Music was there.
For sure.
I was equally passionate, but because of the motion I had in football, I was like, I need to focus on football more.
Yeah.
So then when I got to college and music, I was hurt, and music started moving. I was like, damn, but I'm still doing football stuff because I got to go to school, I got to go to practice, and I'm hurt. I can't even play, but it was just a buried passion. So I would say that advice to younger people, you know, if music is something that you're truly passionate about, don't bury it.
Trust that feeling.
Let it go. Let it breathe. Because like it's music is a special talent. If you can make music and actually like bring it into reality, that's not a lot of people can do that. So I would say don't bury it and live it out. Do it. Even if it's not something you're doing full time, make music. Like it's therapeutic. It's a way to express art. It's a way to express stuff that you can't put into words, honestly. Right. So
I think I can confidently sit here and say that music is one of the most powerful expressions of art to ever be created.
Oh, absolutely.
I love music. I'll love music until the day that I die, and I don't know what I would be doing if I couldn't even just pull up Spotify and listen to a record.
Yeah.
You know, it's one of the best forms of therapy too. So
definitely.
Well, hell yeah, bro. I mean, I'm glad that we fucking linked up and did this, bro.
Definitely, bro. This is the setup we got was fire.
The setup was, and we didn't
shout out No Stress Sound Academy.
Shout out No Stress. Shout out Sud.
DJ E Sud.
You know what I'm saying?
E Sud on the check-in.
Shout out to
shout out Anella.
Shout out everybody that believed in us. Shout out everybody that don't believe in us.
Shout out Mom. Shout out Pop.
Shout out the fam. Shout out God.
Shout out God.
And that's the last thing that I'm gonna say, bro. If it wasn't for God, we wouldn't even be here right now.
We're all vessels, bro. He lives through us. We're not what we are Him. And when you have Him in your life, you are a vessel. Everyone's a vessel, right? We're all created equally.
Yeah.
We are a vessel for Him to live through. And once you find Him, bro, that's it. That's it.
That's it.
That's a wrap.
Much love, bro.
My guy, I love you, bro.
Love you too, brother.